Hey guys.
Good evening. So it may not be evening when you're watching this video, but this is our quiet time. So we thought it might be one of the only times that you don't hear like screaming or
Questions.
games or people crawling on us. All right. So tonight we wanted to talk to you about our story. So you generally know a little bit about what this channel is, but we thought we'd start from the beginning. We'll introduce you to the family later and how we do things later, but wanted to introduce ourselves and more of our story. So our story starts in 7th grade choir,
True.
technically. And we just knew each other in 7th grade choir and throughout junior high school. But we started to become friends in high school and then really, really close friends our junior year of high school.
Best friends.
Besties, inseparable. I used to drive with her, but I didn't have my license at the time. Yeah, I'm going to give this away. So
Don't.
I didn't. Don't.
Okay, do.
Yeah, so I didn't have my license at the time. So she would sit in the driver's seat and she would control the gas and the brake. And then from the passenger seat, I would reach over because I'm tall and lengthy, and I would steer from the passenger seat. Probably not the safest thing to do.
Yeah, teenagers don't listen.
But that was our start to becoming a team. And we started
True.
dating, and I just knew that she was the woman I was going to spend my life with. So we ended high school, and just out of high school, I asked her to marry me, and we were married in August of '99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be 20 years this year.
Coming up to 20, the big 20.
That's right.
And so that's where our story began, high school. And we had all kinds of fun thoughts about what our life was going to be.
Sure.
And that included children. We did know we wanted children. We had this mighty plan. And I think that's a huge part of our story, is our plan versus our life. And idealistic, Arabelle and Jake were going to have 2 or 4 children. That was the plan. We wanted 2 so that we wouldn't have an only child. And then if we ended up having 3, we would go ahead and just move on to 4 so we didn't have to deal with the whole middle child thing, you know. So, because that would make parenting easy if we didn't have the middle child. And so that was our plan.
Yeah, it's a good plan. Yeah, so we had ideas, and we had our first baby after 3 years of marriage. But right before that, we actually had, we got pregnant and we had a miscarriage about 4 months into our first pregnancy. And that was just a huge shock. I mean, we didn't know how to deal with it. And even though we had really great support system, I felt like miscarriage isn't something people talk about a lot.
Right.
Or you shouldn't even mourn the loss of that baby, you know, because you didn't have that baby. So it was kind of a blow, you know.
Yeah. And I would say, especially it being our first, that was really difficult because your entire life changes when you hear you're having a child.
Sure.
And your entire future and everything that you view as reality moving forward changes. And along with the loss of that child was the loss of that future. And that was really a difficult time for us. But it was not long after that God blessed us with another child. And so in 2002, we had our first boy. And then we started hitting the plan, right? So,
Sure.
almost 2 years later, we had our second boy. And then, we had number 3. We couldn't let that happen. But she was a beautiful little girl. And man, was that different. And then we were like, well, we can't have that middle child.
Yep.
So along came number 4, another boy.
Yeah.
So we were hitting our plan really nice and strong.
Sure.
So that was 4 within how many years?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah. And if you have kids, you totally understand how crazy that is, because it is a lot of babies, a lot of managing, just a lot of time, that your time is sacrificed. And also you're on what I call baby duty, because you have to be on alert, at all times, which is such a different thing than just watching like even a 4-year-old, so you've got babies and these little kids. That's a big thing. So after we had number 4, we were like, okay, we're done. And
It's tough.
yeah, we were done. And I mean, I was a stay-at-home mom still, and Jake was working full time. And it was just, it was a lot. And we had a lot of joy, but it was, a lot of work. I mean, that's the reality of having kids. And I was just like, okay, I'm good. And then God actually just really asked us to be willing to trust him with our family size. And that was just, honestly, for me, it was like a fight, of like, no, God, I can't do it. It wasn't about what God could do. It was about how I could not do it. And that's really what I would like think about it and cry, because I was like, I can't do this. I can't manage 4 babies, let alone more babies, and so it was just overwhelming because I wasn't enough, and so God just really asked us to trust him. And I just remember there was a point where I just like literally surrendered and was able to like open my hands. Like I always think about it like that, as just like this act of surrendering it to the Lord and being like, okay, God, we trust you. That's so hard to say because it's not normal to trust the Lord in that way. And we didn't even know it, but we were already pregnant with number 5.
Another boy.
Yeah.
So number 5 comes, we've got 4 boys and a girl, and we are overwhelmed. But it was...
Yeah, joy and
it was so much fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was one of our commitments from the beginning, was we were going to have a really good time with our kids. We wanted... I mean, that's who we are. We make a game out of everything. We're ridiculous, and we like to have fun all the time. We like to invite people into that, and our house is always open, and we like to be surrounded by people. And so it was a natural part of life. It's just that it wasn't our own children before. And so with children comes, sacrifice of your time and your plans sometimes. And we definitely learned that when number 5 just blew up our whole family plan. But it was amazing. And so after that, and just kind of opening our hands and saying, man, every one of these have been such a blessing, so amazing. Looking back, you can't pick one of them and be like, I wouldn't have you,
Yeah.
right? And so then we started having more. And we had number 6, and we had number 7, and we had number 8, and we had number 9. All girls, so they came back
All girls.
with fury, being down 4-1 when we had 5. They took the lead with 5-4. So all our littles are beautiful little girls, rambunctious, crazy, fun little girls. And so you'll get to meet them all later. But that's been another chapter in our life. Now having a a 16-year-old who's about to be 17 and having a baby at the same time. This is a whole new challenge of parenting. So I think we've learned a lot along the way. We've made a lot of mistakes, and our plans have blown up a lot of times. But it's been the most amazing thing that we've ever experienced.
Sure.
And that's why we really wanted to have this channel, because we know that, look, just because we have 9, having 1 is difficult and fun, and having 2 is difficult and fun, and it's a challenge every step of the way. But we've learned a lot in that process. So being able to share that and share our family, which is just this huge blessing and this plan we didn't know we had, that God had for us. Yeah, we just wanted to share that with you. So we're going to talk about how we do it more later. We'll introduce you to each of the kids. That's going to be fun, so you can get to know each of them, just how incredibly unique they are. And just talk about this strategy of how we do life, the strategy for the day-to-day practicals, the strategy for how we choose to have fun and make things in the games.
Yeah.
How we choose to love each other when you don't feel like it sometimes. But it's a heck of a journey. So we're glad you're on it with us.